Why are billionaires the next supervillains of our society? Those few at the top, and we like to point out a few: Elon Musk, Bill Gates, for some reason.
Yep.
Like,
Yep. Yep. Most billionaires, I think, get a lot of hate.
Warning, this podcast is for entertainment only and not intended for medical purposes.
What a greedy fucking prick.
Yeah.
You would, of course, think that, right?
Yeah.
But then what, and maybe that's true, maybe it's not, but anyone would have that if you just looked at that. But kind of my point in what I'm going to say next is there's backstory and context to everything. And when you just look at the surface, you don't necessarily see the backstory. So then what if we...
I don't think anyone's going to like this backstory, dude. If I think
and I don't want to have an agenda. There can be different backstories. That guy with all food is a greedy rich bastard is stupid because you don't have enough information to make that judgment call.
Yeah, you don't have enough information, but the general populace don't care to get information. Instead, they just like to have a judgment about what they observe right now. And so then psychology comes along and is like, hey guys, listen, I know you have a lot of anxiety about the fact that there's a huge wealth discrepancy. Some dude named Chamath came over from Sri Lanka and he worked at Burger King and now he's some kind of a venture capitalist and he's a billionaire, right? And it's like, well, don't look at his backstory. Like, don't stop that. Like, don't look at that. Like, Burger King guy becomes billionaire. Like, no. Billionaires have all inherited it. And they're the secret group that then make us all miserable. And they're the reason why we have less. And so then psychology is like, hey, don't have that kind of a deficit mindset. Let's come up with, what was the one? An abundance mindset, right? Let's just cultivate abundance mindset. Now listen to how absurd this is to try to appease the psychology in once you've identified the villain and the problem of your scarcity, and then you think you're going to tell somebody to like, okay, just focus on the positive, right? Pay attention to the good things in your life, and then you'll see there's enough to go around. This is seriously like a cognitive idea that one. It's a cognitive reappraisal to the inequality. And it's like,
totally.
How disconnected and lost is this psychological theory? Like, this shit is out there with, like, let them eat cake back in the French Revolution. I mean...
It absolutely is. It's because America has been so successful and we're so rich. We've gotten disconnected from hardship and survival and all the work that our ancestors did, and we start to just think, oh, things should be easy, and if you have a positive mindset, oh, and those billionaires have a lot of money, they should share with us. And most people don't get all the hard work backstory.
Yeah, and they don't get it, they don't care, and so then they live in this identified position of not enough. Then we're told, oh yeah, after you've developed a positive outlook, then just be grateful. Practice this kind of like gratitude journaling, right? Say I still have all the things. Like in your idea of the poor people here in America have so much more than the people in Burundi or like every country near India. I used to think of India as like one of the poorest places, and it's like now all of the countries around India are trying to get into India because they're so poor. I'm like, well, that's some next level stuff. But just following up on this, like another psychological technique that is supposed to help with this is an increased sense of psychological control, right? Like, how does one cultivate a sense of psychological control when you perceive, now remember, this is perceive that the world is run by this elite billionaires who then control the governmental and regulatory systems. They control capitalism in their monopolies of massive companies and production, right? And it's like, well, All right, guys. The idea of increased psychological control seems to be like, well, uh, you're just supposed to be able to identify the fears, right? Like, okay, Elon Musk really isn't coming to take my lunch money. That's this, like, identify it, challenge the fears, right? And then somehow face it, right? Like, protest in the streets, like, do some kind of action against this thing, and that will give you a sense of, I'm really doing something here in life, right? I'm doing something. And I know we got like 2 minutes to wrap this up, right? So, unless you have something to say, I gotta say, my favorite part is watching people in this society then identify with the oppressor and make things called like the Billionaires Club, and like all of these people on YouTube they worship the billionaires, right?
Yeah.
They're like wannabe Muskies. They want to be these like YouTuber Lambo driving. I'm just like somehow a billionaire.
Yeah, totally.
Like, what is that? Identifying with the oppressor.
Yeah, I think you want to be part. I think you want to be in their club. You want to be in their fraternity, and so you can either choose to be in the left wing, hate the billionaires and think they're evil, or you can be in the right wing. No, I'm a hardworking, disciplined American, so I'm on my way to the top of the mountain to hang out with fucking Jeff Bezos. It's kind of like you sort of pick one club or the other.
Yeah, that is a strange split, and I mean, obviously there's a lot that contributes to which camp you end up in, right? A lot of the values that you inherit, right? That's where the difference between capitalism as an actual institution, which we kind of ripped apart in our last episode, but then this one is like the values that you inherit. Like, you can inherit some real capitalistic values, and then you're automatically in the camp of, I got to work hard and end up, I'm going to be on Bezos Island, right?
Right, totally. Yeah.
As opposed to, it's too bad we don't have the grand conclusion. It's almost like this time we're kind of making fun of the psychological interventions, and maybe next time we will be able to point out.
I feel it. Well, you know what would be a good thing is how psychotherapy is implicit in, is guilty in creating this mindset that we're criticizing.
Oh my God. Absolutely. Okay. We'll save that one for next time.
All right.
All right, later, man.
All right, dude.